All right, good evening, everyone. We're back, and this will be a weekly video moving forward. We're gonna basically do what has GOM learned in Grand Arena the previous week. This is for the week ending in January 31st. Welcome, everybody, to Operation Metaverse. I'm good on Maurice. If you want to join us for live streams, we're live Monday nights and Wednesday nights, about 9:45 p.m., and Saturday afternoon at 2:30 p.m. Hope to see you guys there. And this is recorded in front of a live studio audience, so hopefully I don't blow it, right? So the premise of this is to try to make the top 100. If you can't meet the speeds that we see here, that's okay. I just want to show you what is going on at the very top, what to prepare for when you do inevitably crack the top 100, right? So, speeds to prepare for here, very simple slide. This is going to be a very common one. This will get updated every week, but it's pretty standard to see everybody's Cat, Echo, and Moff Gideon at 370 plus, right? We'll talk about Cat in a moment. I think Cat might fall off of this list, but Echo, having Echo as one of your very fastest characters is life saving. It beats DR, Talon, Sith Empire Trooper, any sort of basically any team without Nest on it. If Echo goes first, you win. Moff Gideon, we all know what he does. Provides extra speed for your Imperial troopers, and you can always pair him with Geonosians. A lot of people pair him with their Aura Sing leads to take down the BAM teams. Very versatile character. I would make a case that he's one of the most versatile characters in the entire game. We all know what he does though. So Demoralize is pretty good. Now this next one is changing a little bit, right? Admiral Piet, obviously you want him fast. The faster he is, the more Darth Revens you get out in front of, and various other teams. Darth Revan 350 plus, especially with Talon, that's going to add the extra 20. So basically, Darth Revan versus Piet is the matchup, right? Because Piet has Veers, Revan has Talon. Um, there's that dash. If you guys want to use dash lead, faster the better. And we're talking 350 plus here. If he's not that fast, if you can't get him that fast defensively, I would suggest putting Han Solo and Chewie with him because Han's going to go a couple times, two tap, pap, pap. Chewie's going to assist. Three chances for a critical chance, a critical hit there, kind of speeding your dash up 6%, right? Because all the critical hits are going to fuel the turn meter. So that's a little way to get your dash out quicker. And Queel's climbing up the list here. Previously we discussed he's a character I think you could take speed off of and just use offensively if you are kind of struggling for speed. So at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Yes, it drains bounty hunters, right? So you can make a case. Queel drains bounty hunters. That's good, but everybody beats it for 64 banners. Is it really worth one of your best speed sets? If you have it, yes. If you don't, then so be it. Jade. Jade is one that we have actually. The next slide is gonna be all about Jade. 350 plus. I'm going to try to convince you guys that she should have your very fastest speed set, but we'll see if that works. And of course, Shock T. Can kind of provide support for your troopers. There is a trooper team to Shock T that can cheese your Lord Vader teams if you put a certain combination down. But mainly, she's very fast to use with JML to try to counter Lord Vader. Because if you miss that ability block, her cleanse is vital, right? Because you get rid of the days. Your whole team is dazed on Jedi Master Luke. It's a relatively worthless team, right? So, all right, then the others. Bosk, and obviously Grief is going to be one speed slower. You're looking at 330 plus. Cara Dune, Resist Zero Finn. TFP, I think, is going to fall off. Zam Wessel. All 330 plus. Most of your players in the top 150 are going to check all of these boxes, right? I'm not saying that this is what you need to succeed. I'm saying this is what you need to prepare for if you want to make a climb to the top 100, right? Other candidates for your fastest sets, B1 CLS, First Order Officer, which we've talked about that in the past. I'm using Hux lead a lot. First Order Officer, one speed faster than your Hux, has many, many benefits, and yes, you want them fast, right? So the faster, the better. Han Solo, obviously, very, very fast. Jedi Anakin, he's on this list simply because if you have the Qui-Gon Jinn Zeta and you're tired of Bad Batch whooping your ass, just make your Jedi Anakin fast, right? 300 plus gets you out in front of a 360 plus Echo, right? So 300 Jedi Anakin with that Qui-Gon Omicron, I believe, makes him 360. A lot of players. We talked about Echo being 370, so maybe you want your Jedi Anakin at 310, right? Maul, obviously, if you don't use him with your Lord Vader, the faster the better. Pow is the real facilitator of the Mon Mothma team, especially on offensively. Kyle Katarn is going to lead, right? But if you're physically using it on offense, you can just basic with Kyle Katarn, give Pow an extra 5% turn meter, and really at least give your scout 2 tries to fuel the rest of the turn meter, right? To start the match. Kyle Katarn goes, your Pow will go next, and the Scout's got 2 turns to proc the turn meter. So I like Palfax, of course Rex for various reasons. But and honestly, I think he's kind of fallen down. I think whoops, giving a little sneak peek there. But we'll see. And this here at the bottom, we'll leave this up for the foreseeable future. Maybe you guys can't, achieve these speeds. Maybe you guys can, and you just don't really know, the calculations here. Basically, you're seeing a lot at the top. You see a lot of droid teams, Grievous sort of teams with BB-8, whether it be the nuke team with the IG-88, IPD, T3, or if it's just this traditional separatist with BB-8. You see that a lot, and because BB-8 is going to give 40% turn meter, what you basically take 100 divided by 60, and that will fuel or provide the 1.66666666. So if you're facing like an all-droid BB-8 team, you multiply their base speeds by 1.67. Mon Mothma plus Kyle Katarn gets 30% turn meter right because he doesn't count himself, and Mon Mothma is not a rebel fighter, so there's only 3 more. So that's going to be 100 divided by 70. This is going to be 1.43. These are rounded up. Kyle Katarn's speed is going to be his base times 1.43. Darth Maul is going to give 1.25 multiplier to everyone's base speed. Basilet Jedi is going to be 1.18, right? So this is just numbers to memorize here. It'll help you out in the long run. So moving on. So up here you see Mara Jade, and she's actually gone up this week from the 330 slot. And why Mara Jade is the question, right? I am of the belief that she is worth your absolute fastest set. I believe the Imperial Troopers, your CLS, they've been replaced at the top of the mountain of the we beat everything on offense. On top of the mountain is Mara Jade DP. They are absolutely they beat everything. If Mara Jade goes first, they beat everything not named Malik, right? That's pretty much you go first, you get a chance. It's a great. And we talked about Quill being good to drain your bounty hunters. And bounty hunters, if you guys have that Zam Wessel Omicron, the bounty hunters are super valuable, and do you really want to waste it on BAM? EP, Mara Jade, fantastic max banner sort of team, even against the traditional BAM, Quill, IG-11, Nest sort of teams. Yes, Nest is going to counter a couple times, but that's it, right? How do you get rid of Nest? You do have Nihilus. You can throw Nihilus in there as the 5th. Mara Jade goes first, you win, basically, is what it is, right? So it's the new I win button. And at the top here, we'll see, hi, my friend is Palp. Hi, my friend Palp and I beat everything. Absolutely true. Like, I fought an opponent that put 365 speed on his Quill, not fast enough, right? So he's invested you basically neutralize your opponent's tricks, right? Like, basically, if they try to be sneaky, they're like, oh, I got a 365 Quill, or maybe they have 365 this, 365 that. If you have a 366 bar, you win. So very good use of speed, right? And I think what's important, if you guys have Star Killer, I have Star Killer, and I'm pissed off when I look and I see Bounty Hunters just wasted my new toy for 65 banners. EP Mara, if you're Mara, and I know 370 is exceptionally high, and we'll talk where to get it in a minute, 370 speed Mara, that's going to beat a 340 speed Zam plus a 355 speed Bosk or Grief. There's very few, if any, 355 Bosk and Grief. What if we want to use the Mando lead? 370 Mara, plus that 70 from Starkiller with the Omicron, right? We're talking 440 speed is going to outspeed a 340 speed Zam, plus a 330 Bosk and Grief. Like, that's the number we hit on the first page, right? We're talking 330 Bosk Grief in the top 100. That's what you expect. With the Mando lead, your EP Mara is still going to go first. So it's a way to neutralize and make them use something else. If they use bounty hunters, I can tell you firsthand, I tried to bounty hunter a team like this. I got my ass kicked. They went first. I never took a turn. I lost my Zam Omicron, lost all my bounty hunters without ever taking a turn. So very, very good use of speed. Protect your Star Killer, right? You've made the huge investment in Star Killer. Protect it with a fast Mara, basically, if you want to place EP Mara with your Star Killer. I believe EP Mara standalone with Thrawn, and this is a lesson we learned last week. Thrawn is very vital because it can get rid of some debuffs and get you in the 65 banner kind of discussion on a lot of the fights you do, right? So, and that's the great thing. You don't really need a tank. If you need one, you probably have Shore Trooper available. You can use Sith Empire Trooper. There's lots of options to use there. And you don't need a full team usually. Usually EP, Mara, Thrawn, X. That's usually enough. If you guys have Vader available, then by all means use Vader too, and you'll just dominate the opposition for 65, 66 banners every time. So very, very good character. I highly encourage you guys to slowly. It's not going to be done overnight, but really start finding ways to get your Mara Jade faster. It's going to pay dividends all across the board. Now, TW, if you have the Omicron, obviously you don't need any speed because she's just going to go anyway. But come on, but come on, Gom. Where am I going to come up with that speed? Make the cat fat. All right, steal it from cat. Make the cat fat. And honestly, we'll talk about it here. So basically, what you're doing is you're trading fewer yet more impactful turns from a single character. That's more so if you want to put an offensive crit damage set on cat on one team to form an entire team that is a world beater, right? So you're taking some speed off a cat and repurposing that speed for Mara Jade. So you're taking speed off one character that the team functions as is. It's going to get beat in the mirror, regardless of how fast your cat or Kenobi is, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to exchange Kenobis, and then the person manning the team is more than likely going to beat you, right? So it really does nothing for mirrors, right? It does nothing at all for mirrors. And honestly, it's something I've learned, and something I learned firsthand the last fight I did. I fought about a 320 cat. It had about 120,000-ish health with just all health primaries, and it actually can stop the Rey Jedi counter. If you guys don't know, maybe you guys are a little smaller GP. A very popular team in the top 100 is Kenobi, Cat. I'll put my fingers here. Snips, Padme, and General Kenobi, right? The tank. So you got those five, and Padme. Obviously, the premise is to prevent your Jedi Master Luke from doing well against that team. So that leaves you with Rey, and it leaves you with Jedi Revan. It leaves you with Jedi Knight Luke, and it leaves you with, you can either use Gas or Grandmaster Yoda, and then the fifth is Jolie, right? And that's a very expensive team to beat a very expensive team. But unless you have a mirror handy, let's say, and most people in the top 50 are going to place Kenobi and Vader pretty consistently, right? Both of them. So it's kind of a way to, it's not going to work every time, but every once in a while, if your cat is healthy enough, it can withstand 2 whirlwinds and shut that counter down. Because the whole premise of the counter is Mark Cat, whirlwind cat once. They're gonna kill somebody or get Grandmaster Yoda. They hard target Grandmaster Yoda or Gas, right? That's why they're on the team. They die constantly. They do very little for you. Offensively, they're there just to be the whipping boy of the team, right? So they go down. Cat has a second whirlwind. Cat's still marked. Wham bam, she's out cold. But if you can't kill her on that second whirlwind, things can get out of control really, really quick, right? So with Arena being, I don't want to say irrelevant, but Arena not being the focus that it used to be, I don't feel like the speed on Cat, having 375 speed Cat, like, ask yourself, what is it really doing for me? Is it stopping a mirror? No. If somebody keeps Kenobi and mirrors it, you lose. Is it stopping anything? Is a fast Cat stopping anything from beating your Kenobi? Is the question. The answer is probably not, right? Because it's very easy if you want to use Lord Vader against your Kenobi. It's all you need is your Maul within 25 speed of Cat, right? And that's, most people have that nowadays, especially at the top. So I don't personally feel that fast Cat does that much for you. It sure looks nice. It's cool. You can have a pissing contest with your Arena Shard mates. Whatever. I do not feel that having a fast Cat does anything in the land that we live now. Could be wrong. We'll see. But this is just what I'm personally doing, making suggestions to you guys. So that's just something to think about. And again, guys, health. But for some of you guys, the really good health mods, like the health primaries with health secondaries, those may be few and far between. Those might be more rare than speed. I'm not saying speed's bad. I'm just saying if you want to speed up, you can't have all the characters fast, right? Like, you have to pick and choose. And I think Mara Jade is more impactful fast than Cat. Personal opinion, yes. And that's the thing. The ultimate goal of the health build is to try to withstand 2 whirlwinds. Now, R9 Rays, really modded for offense, that might be a little tough. But, there's something to scout for. It's just something to look at. If your opponent has R9 Ray and you have your Cat modded this way, then maybe you put her with Rey. Maybe you keep them for offense. Whatever the case is, you have to adjust on the fly. Just a suggestion. If you guys don't have those health mods, you can do a crit damage or offense kind of set with the health set and get the offense going. And now this down here, the final bullet point, make R2 match and consider pairing. If you want to go the health route with, and this might be an option, maybe your opponent has R9 Rey and you want to kind of try this. If you mod her for super duper health, then mod your R2 for super duper health as well, right? And just pair the two together. Um, just ultimate health. Now, if you let's say you mod her for offense and crit damage, okay, or crit damage, right? One of those two sets. Um, then you can maybe make R2 offense oriented. But I do think if you wanted to put R2 on your Kenobi team, health is probably be a little more beneficial because it will fuel more of the protection up and stuff and make your team more tanky. Very, very good options there if you guys aren't using R2. Just suggestions. And so the next slide is going to be a repetitive one. We're going to do this every week. Considerations for R7 plus. And this is something we'll talk about at great length in a minute. Pilots are very, very important. Whether you like it or not, pilots are the way to go. Because I can tell you, with a little bit weaker pilots, I'm getting my fleets one-shot a lot, right? Fleets are pretty important. Fleets can win, and they do win, as we'll talk in a minute, lots and lots of battles. So do consider pilots above everything else. Mainly your executor fleet, right? Like the people with the R8 BAMs and the R8 CADs and the R8 Bosk and the R9 Piats are going to have a hell of a lot easier time in Grand Arena than those that don't. Right, in the next slot here, these are all Queel, R2, and Zam. Basically, any character that provides bonuses to the rest of the team based on their own stats, right? Those characters are obviously always going to be safe bets. Mon Mothma is another example of that, but Mon Mothma, the team in general, this is Mon Mothma is a suggestion for the higher GPs, right? Like I know a lot of you guys, the lower GPs and stuff, Mon Mothma's not worth it, right? It's not that big of a deal, but Mon Mothma's leadership, every character on the team gives 8% of their stats to every other character on the team. So the higher relics they are, obviously, the more impactful they're going to be. You've got Kyle Katarn stacking offense now, so they hit a hell of a lot harder than they used to, and a lot faster now, too. So Mon Mothma is a very good investment. For those of you, maybe the Dolphins out there, maybe you can throw a little money around for some relics, maybe do the hundreds of 200 refreshes for your signal data. Mon Mothma is a good option for R7s and plus. And the Sith Triumvirate, this is something I've learned firsthand. The first month, I did not have them. I had like a R1 Nest or an R1 Nihilus, R3 Trans Scion. If you guys are in the camp of, you don't need a relic, no, this works fine at R2. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, no. I took all three of them to Relic 7. They provide the health benefit you get alone, taking them up, is well worth it. Now, we talked about that team people are using to stop the Vader cheese, right? Or the Kylo cheese, right? Like they're placing the Thrawn, the Darth Vader, the Darth Maul, Royal Guard under Lord Vader. It stops Kylo Ren, right? With the Night Sisters. But what it does is it opens up the team to C, right? You can beat Lord Vader with C, the Triumvirate, X. I'm still kind of running it and testing it and modding it. I'm not sure if Talon is best there. With the Omicron, definitely would be, or if just another tank. That's something we'll reassess next week. But so you prevent the Kylo cheese, but then you open up your Lord Vader to C in the Triumvirate. And if you do not have Relic Triumvirate, that counter is not going to work. At the very least, you'll get down to Lord Vader and you can clean it up. You can two-shot Vader with C. That sounds like a good deal to me. They're ones to stay on top of. I kind of let them slip down the line, and it really cost me. There's so many teams. We talked about Versio earlier. There's variations of Mon Mothma, Dash, so many teams that you need the Triumvirate for now. Of course, Geos for the guys in the lower brackets. I don't see too many Geos in the top. I'm not in the top right now, but I've been at the top. We've fallen very, very far, but hopefully we'll get back there soon. But it's just all around I'm very pleased with them at Relic 7. So Dark Trooper obviously is something you'll see when you start getting into the top. There's a lot of R8 and R9 sets. R7, R8 Dark Trooper is pretty vital to getting through those Sith Empire troopers quickly. 10,000 plus offense you really need, and it's tough to accomplish that. I was one of the ones that said I don't really need to put relics back on Dark Trooper. Wrong. Right? I was wrong. And of course, Old Daka. Old Daka at R7 plus can carry any sort of ragtag, bag of bones sort of Night Sister team you have, right? She can survive everything. Just keep reviving them. You'll eventually win. It's a good way to get a team, an entire team. Like maybe the rest of your Night Sisters are like Gear 13, Relic 3, whatever. Maybe they're a little bit behind everything else, but R7 Old Daka can carry them to the promised land, right? So an investment in one character can kind of carry the whole team. Obviously, your GLs and your star killers and your pilots obviously are going to be number one priority. I think. Your fancy characters, right? Like your new toys. You want to take them all the way up. Your Bobas, your Cats, your Mauls. Yeah, they're better, obviously. But when you start getting through we'll say the necessary characters, and you're kind of unsure where to go, these are all good options, I think, for you here. This, for those of you guys that saw my battle on Saturday, you'll be quite you'll be quite familiar with this new trend that is hitting the hollow table near you. It's Sweet Poducio, right? We call this the Poduci Defense, right? So this is something that beat us. So I'm not criticizing the strategy, right? I'm not criticizing it. It's just, I will tell you, it's absolutely infuriating to lose against. It is infuriating. So this slide is for those of you that don't like to play this, like me, or maybe you are interested in this sort of strategy. And here we go. So this is a new strategy, and even people at the top, I often fall victim to this strategy. This is, again, just because I call it the Poduci strategy does not mean I'm criticizing it. I just hate it. Right? So there we go. Sweet Poducio. Okay, it's becoming a craze. And this is, as you guys saw, keep everything. My opponent kept all 6 GLs, kept everything. Put nothing but just hot garbage on defense. But good teams, like Dash, Rendar, Mon Mothma, they did put DR, right? Like simple, very standard teams. Gas and DR were the strong points, right? So, and often players that play this consistently, right? This is not like a turn it on, turn it off. Like these players are typically very, very good at the efficiency game. Very, very good, right? And so they're used to this strategy. They place very similar defenses every time because they're comfortable having all the options, and you can prepare. And I was super prepared for ours on Saturday. I made a boo-boo and overlooked the speed of DR. That was a rookie mistake, but it wouldn't have mattered. But why would it wouldn't have mattered? Because that son of a bitch had all R8 pilots on everything, and I just stalled. For those of you that were in attendance, you just watched me completely tilt out and quit the game just because I loaded the wrong fleet. It didn't matter at that point anyway. We already lost. That was a super embarrassing pout moment for me. But so he placed everything, and they depend heavily on their investment on fleets, right? Because you can one-shot all their board for 65, but if you get to ships, lose a battle, lose some banners, they quickly can make it up because they have everything. You're not getting a hold, right? You're not getting a hold. And so what we've learned is if we see an opponent that's going to do this, place everything. Don't keep C just in case. Don't keep Kylo just in case. Place 5, if not 6 GLs. Place them all and just let it go. Just let it go, and we're just going to roll with it. You got to get through 6 GLs. And what you'll find often, maybe not my particular opponent from round 2, but what you're going to find is a lot of these players are so used to keeping all of their stuff. They're so used to using C, DR, or like Kylo on just like leftovers, like used to using it on Grievous, used to using it on DR, used to using it on Gas, whatever the case is. If you put all your GLs down, then it becomes where do I use this? And then they have to use other things. While they might consider them hard counters, these particular players aren't used to using those things, so you make them really uncomfortable. And you might pick up a hold. If nothing else, you'll make up some banners for sure. And then keep your fleets. Like in my case, if I would have kept my Executor against my opponent, I would have had a much better chance of beating him. Now, his Executor was far better than mine. My Piet is R9 now, right? So if you're fighting people like this, do not fall into their trap, right? Keep your best fleets. Don't worry about your fleets. Just place like Kenobi, place Malevolence, place whatever you want back there. It doesn't matter. Fleets will be a wash, right? Fleets will be a wash. Put your defense down. Make them be efficient against your teams. But to beat them, you have to be efficient as well. So you have to use teams that are very, very efficient banner-wise. Bam. People place Bam just out of instinct every single time, every single match. Bam gets beat for 64. Again, drains the bounty hunters, gets beat for 64. 64, 64, 64, 64. Every single time. Keep them for offense. Take the speed off Queel, keep them for offense. You'll be surprised at how many teams you could beat for 65 banners, right? You got Queel with the protection and health generation. You've got Bam himself with the damage immunity that heals just heals up, heal all across the board. Very, very good. Very, very good team for maximum banners. Mandos, and this could be Maul lead. This could be Maul lead. Obviously, is optimal, but Bo-Katan lead. Any form of Mandos, especially if they've got some sort of cheesy team in the back. If your armor goes first, you got a good shot at winning, right? With Ordo on the team, Ordo is a turn meter machine. A very, very good way to get 65, 66, even if you can get an undersized. And then Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma, everyone, again, much like Bam, is placing on defense just because. It's a very, very, very efficient offensive unit, right? And you can do it without Kara. You could use other Rebel fighters, and Kara is becoming too valuable now. Kara is great on a Dash Rendar team, right? Removes turn meter, goes stealth, provides turn meter. That's pretty dynamic combination there. AoE that removes turn meter and then gains turn meter for your team. That's pretty awesome. So consider utilizing Mon Mothma offensively. If you're lower GP, you're probably still fighting a lot of the more traditional Grievous teams. Mon Mothma knocks out Grievous for good banners. Very, very efficient. JKR, this might go without saying, but JKR, this is for those. Me personally, I don't use JKR lead very much, or Basti or JKR. All the Jedi teams under either of those leads provide very, very high banners. You guys know that. And then, like we talked about, EP Marathon. You go first, crushes souls with this team. They never take a turn. Just completely nip it in the bud. So even if you guys have an undergeared Mara, maybe she's only 3-4 star, maybe she's geared 9, 10, 11. Put your very best 5-dot mods on her. Maybe try to get her to 300, 310, and just see what you can do with her, right? There's got to be a team in the back. Just start practicing with the team. Start understanding the mechanics of what turn order you need, because that's going to be your butter later on in life. So I do not suggest trying this out against somebody with a massive GP advantage. It's not going to work, right? It's not going to work because they're just going to storm through everything you place for maximum banners because their mods are just significantly better than yours and their pilots match you. But for those of you guys that want to remain competitive, this is a good strategy and on the cheap, right? You only have to relic a handful of characters. A lot of the pilots, like Bam, like Piet, like Boba Fett, some of these characters that you're using, Bosk. These are all really good characters in the game. It's not like we're suggesting to mod Plo Koon, right? Fives is usable. He's a good option. Crew is a good option for as a pilot to relic. Very good character as well. You get a lot of bang for your buck for pilots. And then that's honestly how I lost round 2. This past round is just 2E went all in on pilots and just shut me down. So it works. Again, I'm a little bit salty, right? I'm a little bit salty when I lose to it, but I am not critiquing. I'm not criticizing the strategy. Just wanted to review that sort of strategy, how to prepare for it, right? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to wrap it up for this presentation. Thank you guys very much. Have a good day.